Hey there, this is going to be a benchmark test with the RX 9060 XT 16GB playing Metro 2033. The settings we're running at is 4K resolution, very high quality, SSA 0.5 times. Now I've tried changing this setting off and on, and I don't know, it's a bit weird. I don't know if it's super sampling, I'm not sure what that setting is. To be honest, I could not tell a difference between an off, on, 1 times, 2 times, 4 times. I could not tell a difference. I think it's because the resolution's so high that I just can't see it. Then we've got texture filtering at times 16, motion blur off, tessellation very high, and VSync off. And the whole point of this video is to show what this card is capable of doing. It is a very good mid-range budget GPU for anyone who is interested in potentially buying it. And someone like myself who owns an RTX 4070 Super, when upgrading from the RX 6700 XT, that to me felt like a massive upgrade, but it was kind of a side grade because I was paying 60% more for 60% more performance, and I just thought that was rubbish, considering it still had 12 gigs of VRAM, even though the 6700 XT had 12 gigs of VRAM. And then now, so playing Metro 2033, I am maxing out the settings and I'm running it on Linux Bazzite, and the game runs flawlessly because it's Steam Deck verified as well as Steam OS verified. I think usually if it's Steam Deck verified, then it's Steam OS verified pretty much. I've tested quite a few games on this card. Some of them are like Redout, you got Maneater, that shark game. Those are the more demanding ones, so Redout, Maneater, Metro I'd say is a bit demanding, but it's so old that it runs really well, and you'll see in this video as I watch it through with you guys. What else is there to say? Well, let's get into it, eh? So as you can see, we're at 100% utilization at 4K ultra settings. The card is hitting about 60 degrees, but the junction temperature is almost at 80, which is pretty good. If the junction is below 80, I think that's very, very good. And this is the Sapphire Pulse RX 9060 XT, which is just the standard Sapphire model card. And I'll admit, when I opened it up, I thought the card was actually pretty good. The build quality was actually pretty good for what I paid for. You can get the Nitro Plus. I'd love to have that card. The temperatures would probably be a lot better. However, the interesting thing about this card is that it's running Samsung GDDR6 memory. And as you can see, I know the layout looks a little weird. It's a little hard to understand. But where it says VRAM, it's using 3 gigabytes, and the VRAM or memory temperature is hitting 74 degrees, which is pretty low. Generally speaking, when I'm running most of my games, some of them are running at 1080p. Obviously this is running at 4K, so it's going to be a bit more demanding. It'll run a little hotter, but I've never seen it hit above 80. From me playing all my games, I've never seen it hit above 80. Most of the times, memory for me, especially on Radeon cards, hit about 80 degrees, and that's not bad. Like that's still like good operating temperature for the memory, but the Samsung just is a lot cooler in general. And as you can see throughout this whole video so far, the frame time is absolutely flat. It is flat. The only time you see it spike is like, I don't know, an enemy's loading in, or an event that's about to happen, and it's literally like a little jagged triangle. That's it. So I don't know if it's because of Linux. To be honest, I haven't really I have tested this game on the 4070 Super in the other build, but there's no point in really doing that because I think I'll get the same result. However, I do think the frame time would be different. Because on the Linux, man, it's just flat. You can see it's flat, flat, flat. It's not even moving. And as you can see, we're getting between 150, 170 frames per second. Sometimes we're hitting 200 in certain sections. I think when I'm versing the enemies, which will be later on, I think it dips to like 130, 120, but it still stays strong at that frame rate, 120 frames per second. And overall, like, I'm pretty impressed with this card. Like, I think if I knew AMD were making RDNA 4 the way they were, I would have bought the RX 9070 over the 4070 Super if I knew what they were making in the first place. But I bought the 4070 Super just as the 50 series launched. Great card. I've got no gripes with it. It's actually really, really good. Really, really powerful. It's just got different features to RDNA. I don't like the NVIDIA overlay and the app and shit. I don't really like that shit, or GeForce Experience or whatever. But other than that, like, it's a solid card. And I've been rocking AMD cards for a while now. I've had NVIDIA cards before. I kind of dropped NVIDIA once RDNA 1 came out, the RX 5700 XT, and yeah, that card wasn't really. It was good. The performance was great, but the optimization and the glitchiness of it wasn't good. But ever since they launched RDNA 2, Radeon's been really, really good. And RDNA 4, like, playing with this 9060 XT, it'll play all my games perfectly. Now, I know this is a old game, Metro 2033 Redux Edition. It's old, right? Well, you say that, but remember, we're running at 4K. Now, if we were to play older, if we were to be using older GPUs, let's say RTX 20 series, or even older GTX 10 series, I doubt it'd get this frame rate. I doubt most of the high-end models would ever get to that frame rate. Maybe the 2080 Ti, maybe the 2080, possibly the 2070 might get to that frame rate, because Metro is kind of NVIDIA, not sponsored, just I think it runs better on NVIDIA. I could be wrong, but basically this game and this card just run flawless together. There still hasn't been a spike. To be honest, I haven't really looked at the frame time. There's been no spikes. Whether this is the Linux Bazzite operating system just being this good, or the game is just optimized, or the card is just really good, I don't know. And also to mention, the CPU is using between 30, 40, maybe even 50%. That should technically be lower, because I am recording. It is actually taking up a bit more CPU resource. And yeah, it's like this game, I know it won't look good on YouTube, but this game still looks really good, despite its age. Yes, you can see some of the imperfections. Well, not imperfections, it's more, yeah, it has aged, you can tell, but like I said, if you're playing at ultra settings, this game still looks phenomenal. And it's because it's all handcrafted. It's not an open world game. You go level to level. So everything is handcrafted to the exact specification, to what they want, the creators, the devs, and it's a beautiful game. Last Light is really good too. I think it looks a little better. I think Last Light is meant to look a little bit better. I don't know if that means it also runs worse. I do have it, so that might be the next game to try out.
You can feel it.
But basically, the whole point of this video is just to show you a proper benchmark on Metro 2033 using an RX 9060 XT to show that, you know, this card is more than capable. So if other YouTubers say, oh, it's a shit card, yada yada yada, yeah, well, even if it is shit, they're probably playing some AAA game that's made yesterday, you know, and it's clearly unoptimized, or it's got issues, right? And I'm here to show that, well, most of the time, I'd say people wouldn't be playing the latest and greatest games all the time. And if they are, well, I would say they should be kind of prepared to actually see performance drops with their current setups, because it's normal for games to just, you know, get more demanding as time goes on. So yeah, runs flawless, still running flawless, no issues, no spikes from what I've seen. Temperatures are stable, the GPU's at 100% utilization, which means we're not CPU bottlenecking or anything. I mean, we could be. We actually might be able to extract more performance if I had a better CPU. The 3600 has always been a solid CPU, regardless of what anyone says. Like, people will say, oh, the 9800 X3D or 9900 X3D are the best gaming chips. Well, yeah, you're correct. However, the moment you turn on 4K, it doesn't even matter anymore. The 3600 will still be decently, will be relatively close to the 9800 X3D or any of the X3D chips. The moment you turn on 4K, it changes the story. 1080p, yes, the X3D chips are going to be faster. 1440p, yes, maybe the X3D chips will be faster, but not by a lot. The moment you turn on 4K, it's probably going to be within 10%. Unless you're getting really high frame rates in a game. And that's where you can probably see the most difference. So yeah, as you can see, I'm getting 120 frames per second. And I think I died. And I didn't run out of bullets, so I had to keep reloading. So yeah. And then spawn back in. You can see solid gameplay, solid performance. I don't think you get this sort of performance at all on a GTX 1060 or even an RTX 20. Like, remember, we're not even using DLSS. We're not using FSR4, whatever. No OptiScaler bullshit. This is native. This is native 4K ultra settings. Like I said, I don't know what the SSA thing is. I think it's super sampling or some shit. But I literally turned it on, off, 1 time, 3, 4 times, whatever. I could not see a difference. So I left it at 0.5 because I think there was a performance difference if I turned it off. If I remember, I think there was a performance hit. So I might have to retest this game with SSA off. Just to double check on that. But then I'd also have to look at the GPU utilization, see if it's actually doing its job and all that. But yeah, this is more than playable. I was playing on a 60 frames per second TV, even though it's running at over 140. And just this card. This RX 9060 XT has shocked me because I know the RX 9060 XT is basically a RX 7700, except it's a little bit cheaper, or at least here in Australia it's a little bit cheaper. Just a little bit, not by much, maybe like, but if we're talking MSRP to MSRP, it's probably like $50 to $80 cheaper. But the biggest difference is that you're getting RDNA 4 technology and optimization in the 9060 XT, and I would rather have that than the RDNA 4 card, even though the 7700 XT would still technically be a little bit more powerful. But having 16 gigs of VRAM, man, like that's insane. For that price point, that is actually really, really good. Yeah, it's got a small bit bust and all that, but I see the card differently. I actually see it as, even though I'm still paying more for this 60 class model than what I should typically be paying, it's got 16 gigs of VRAM, which is huge. It performs well. It's efficient. That's the other thing. It's more efficient than the 7700 XT. So, what's the power draw? So we're only getting like not even 170 watts. Oh, we just got 170 watts there. So I can overclock it, but there's no point. This card runs flawlessly, and I think there's little to no gain with overclocking. Maybe 1 to 2% performance gain, and we're not going to see much of a difference with 130 FPS or 120 FPS anyway. So yeah, this card has impressed me. And this is, I think, if anyone is looking at buying any new GPU right now for their games, and they've got older cards, let's say 30 series or older, like let's say you got an RTX 3000 series, 2000 series, GTX 1000, or anything older than those cards, or even like just if you got those cards in general, I would suggest getting this card as either a side grade or an upgrade. So if you got a 3080, yeah, I don't know, it's probably not worth, well, definitely it's not worth getting this. There's no point. However, you do have 10 gigs of VRAM on the 3080, so that's kind of shit. And if you're typically going to be getting similar gaming performance on both, then yeah, 9060 XT would be a better choice, I think. So yeah, I have genuinely been very impressed, and it makes my 4070 Super look silly because I paid $1,000 for it just as 50 series came out. So technically I bought it just in time before the prices skyrocketed. And yeah, the 4070 Super is good, but the main reason why I bought it was for Topaz Video AI, for the AI upscales, and that thing, yeah, it runs well, but there's some things that it doesn't run well with. But what I'm saying is, for the price performance and what you're getting for the card, the 9060 XT is so much better. It is so much better. I paid under MSRP for the 9060 XT, believe it or not. I paid $609, and I'm actually jealous. I'm kind of jealous that, well, I don't even know if you could call it jealousy, but it's basically, I like the 9060 XT so much more because I didn't have to pay a whole lot in the first place. And generally speaking, 600 to 650 is usually what I spend when I'm getting the new 70 series class cards, but now that they've gone to $1,000, there's no point in buying them anymore, in my opinion. $1,000 is my threshold, and yeah, the 9060 XT, for the price you're getting and the performance and everything else, it's just so much nicer. So yeah, that'll be it for the video. It's just a quick benchmark thing for you guys, so you guys can have a look at how the game runs and all that. And yeah.